Ha! It took Captain America 80 years to be worthy to hold that hammer. You don't stand a chance.
Man, I could if I wanted to, but it's just not my thing.
Right, because you're better off with your toy guns and your neat mask.
It is a neat mask. Plus, I have my team. I don't need your hammer.
Ha! You can't pronounce its name. I knew it. I knew it.
What's up, Thor number 2? What's wrong with you guys? You're at a kid's birthday party.
We know. We're just trying to get in character for when the birthday boy gets here.
You couldn't pass for Hemsworth in a million years, hot shot.
Come on, man. I work out.
Yeah, and I can drive a car.
I mean, from time to time.
At least you're more convincing than this fool. Let's just say Rocket wasn't lying.
Huh?
One sandwich away.
Okay. You need to stop. You're getting kind of mean. This is getting pretty personal. We can just agree to disagree.
Well, Christian Bale has the better franchise anyway.
What did you say?
What, you gonna hit a child AMC hammer?
Hey, chill out, man. He's not worth it. Your costume is way better than his.
Please.
Hey! We're here for the Defenders party.
Yeah, we are.
You see, these guys know what they're doing. That's how you pull off a convincing Thor costume.
I mean, yeah, I get it. That's a good point.
I don't see it at all.
You can't even say Milner.
Roasted, bub. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Tavern Talk. I'm Philip, and joining me this week is Mr. Chris Dendy. Thanks for being here, buddy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Chris, we kind of go way back, honestly.
Way back.
We're talking like first, second grade back. Is that right? Is that
Yeah,
accurate?
I think so.
Yeah. We played basketball, baseball together growing up, and now we work together. Chris was kind enough to bring me back into the job fold, and we were coworkers once, now we're coworkers again. You don't care about any of that.
Not at all.
But what I do care about and what I want to know about this week, we are talking about Thor: Love and Thunder, the latest installment in the ever-going MCU saga. But where do you come at the MCU from first?
So, not the biggest comic book nerd,
Okay.
but have loved the movies from the start.
Yeah.
So I followed the MCU all the way along, but I'm not one of the guys that's sitting there going against the comic books,
Right.
worried that they got something wrong.
Yeah, no, I never was like, my prior knowledge of it was the 90s animated shows.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, if it was, X-Men, Spider-Man, like I knew the big
100%.
guns.
Yeah.
So all the Captain America, Thor, especially, like Chris Hemsworth is the first kind of run-in with that.
Oh, yeah.
For sure. Okay. So again, like I've kind of said this when we've reviewed past MCU movies, I really enjoy this. I look forward to it. I read all the articles that are kind of like hyping us up for what comes next, theorizing about what all the post-credits scenes might be leading to and all that good stuff. But this one is different because the last Thor movie was prior to Infinity War and Endgame.
Yeah. Lots happened.
Yeah, and it was also the first one Taika Waititi directed. He returns to direct this one as well. But yeah, this is kind of an interesting one because Iron Man, Captain America, they haven't gotten a fourth movie, you know, and so Thor gets his fourth movie, and it's just like initial reaction. It's a good mix of heart and humor, and I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would. But what did you think?
So, one of my favorite MCU movies was Ragnarok.
Okay.
So I felt like it had all the same flavors.
Yeah.
But toned down a little bit.
Yeah.
All the way across the board, toned down, with still that style and flair of Ragnarok.
Mm-hmm.
Just didn't have that same resounding volume to it, though.
Okay. See, I think we might be switched here.
Uh-oh.
I think we might be switched
The plot
because
thickens.
I liked Taika Waititi as a director. What We Do in the Shadows and Hunt for the Wilder People. Those movies I like. I enjoyed his very singular, brand of humor and style and everything. So I guess I don't know if expectations were too high going into Ragnarok. I like Ragnarok. Don't get me wrong.
Doesn't sound right. Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Rewatched it this week. Really funny. And actually some of the complaints I had with that one kind of reverberate here because it's just like a lot of the look of it, like you can tell it was shot like on a soundstage or on a green screen.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it just doesn't have that like grounded, gritty kind of like look that I like. I know a lot of this takes place on planets and in space and
Kind of
all
hard
that
to film
good
those
stuff.
on set.
Right. I don't know. Like, I just wish they would go find like like an actual desert or an actual rainforest or something that would give that feeling. But that said, I think I enjoyed Love and Thunder more, maybe because it did balance out that the humor and heart a little bit more. But one thing that really brought this up for me was Christian Bale.
Oh, absolutely.
As Gorr. And that, speaking of gritty, I mean, he gets into it there. What did you think of...
I thought Gorr was absolutely fantastic. You know, when you see Christian Bale, you always want to think back to, Dark Knight.
Right.
So instantly you get images of Heath Ledger.
Yeah.
And I feel like he brought that type of energy to this role.
Yeah.
Where, the villain stood out just as much.
Right. With the MCU, with it being movie after movie after movie, like it's hard to, create a memorable villain.
Absolutely.
Consistently like that. And
You're just there for the heroes.
Yeah. But when you bring in Christian Bale, like a guy of that caliber, you're probably going to get something pretty good. And I wasn't disappointed in this. I thought they created some sympathy with his character, even though he's literally like known as the God Butcher and carries that out. Maybe we didn't see that as like intensely as maybe I expected us to, because we're keeping it PG-13 and everything. But I thought he was really effective, and I thought
absolutely.
the way they tied his objective in with Thor's journey and how they bring Jane Foster, Natalie Portman, the Mighty Thor, and how they like kind of weave those storylines together, I thought was really effective.
I really like the contrast that they brought in with Omnipotent City.
Yes.
Had all of the energy and flair that we saw with the Collector in Ragnarok. And then
Collector, or were you talking about Jeff Goldblum?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, Grandmaster, sorry.
Grandmaster, sorry.
Nerd alert.
Well, I was like, first my mind went to Guardians, because Benicio del Toro.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, got that confused.
No. I got to clarify before I get...
Yeah. But, kill us in the comments. It's me, not him.
Just comment, please. That's all I need.
But then they contrast it with the black and white of the Shadow Realm.
Yeah.
And, you go from this opulence and humor to this very dark and gritty side like you were talking about earlier. So it really created a really cool contrast.
And I don't mean to like say that I need my superhero movies to be dark and gritty. Like, Dark Knight was prime, formative years. Nothing will ever touch it probably, but I don't, I like the humor that Taika and Chris Hemsworth. I mean, Chris Hemsworth is a great comic actor.
Absolutely.
And I'm glad he's finally getting to stretch that muscle among all his muscles in this series. But when they balance it like that with Gorr, I loved how kind of the whole production changed when they got to that Shadow Realm.
Absolutely.
And then, but also, Russell Crowe shows up in this movie as Zeus. Plays a bigger part than I expected him to, honestly.
Yeah. And I love how they didn't make him all ripped.
Right.
He was repping the dad bod.
Yeah, for sure.
Total, laid back God.
Yeah. And, speaking of gods and not new cast members, but returning cast members, we'll go there. We have to talk about Natalie Portman coming back to the franchise. Personally, I wasn't as super invested in the Jane Foster Thor relationship prior to this, but I really like what they did with her here.
Yeah, absolutely. They gave her quite literally new life.
Yeah, for sure.
Gave her cool superpowers. The hammer splits apart.
Yeah.
That was the coolest part of battle in the whole movie.
Right, yeah.
Is seeing Mjolnir just break into a million little pieces and decimate everyone.
Yeah, no, I agree. The action in this, I would say I know the Hulk and Thor fight in Ragnarok was the big thing, and I enjoyed that as well. But I did feel Taika, who is someone who went from kind of the smaller independent cinema to big studio movies really quick.
It's been an absolute disaster, but
That's just the way it is on my films.
Made that transition really fast. I definitely felt like he was kind of gaining his footing here and had a better feel for how to execute those big action sequences.
Yeah, absolutely.
There are a few here, outside even the Shadow World. There's an opening one. Don't expect a whole lot from the Guardians here, I feel like we should say.
Yeah.
They're in, like the opening scene maybe.
Almost cameo level.
Yeah, for sure. But a lot of fun, and I liked, that is a perfect example of like a scene that didn't look great and looked very stagey and CGI and just like special effects overload, but the energy of it was really fun, and like I love seeing Star-Lord and Thor interact. And
even down to Thor's jacket that looked a lot like Star-Lord's.
Yes.
Totally riffing his style.
Yeah, their interaction at the end of Endgame was one of the highlights.
Of course.
And then just to get a little bit more of that was like almost worth the price of admission alone.
Right.
But yeah, like I guess that's kind of where I come on both Ragnarok and this, even though I think I like this a little bit more than Ragnarok, is just that even when the aesthetic doesn't look as like great and good, because like you can have a special, like Endgame looks amazing. Like the effects in that are so, like you can tell they took the time and invested in, there's a whole backstory to digital houses and trying to rush to get these things done. But yeah, like when it's done right, it doesn't bother me. But here, even aside from like the quality of the images, sometimes I loved the energy this one had.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so
the one thing I wish they would have done more of is really just bring home some of those more emotional moments.
Okay.
It felt like there were so many times that they cushioned the blow with some comedic relief when they could have just let it resound and just sit there a little bit more so that you felt a little deeper connection to the characters.
Yeah. No, that's for sure. Because especially between Thor and Jane.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
Yeah. And I don't know if that's just Taika like fearful of being made fun of, because
maybe.
I mean the ultimate, they settle on like the main theme here is like, kind of like that love overcomes everything, which
quite literally.
Yeah. And like but they like deliver it in a way that, there's an interaction between Thor and Gorr where I was like, okay, I buy it. Like the way it's delivered and the way they handle it. Like I was like, okay, it's cheesy, but I'm fine with it.
Mm-hmm.
But, so I don't know. But was there anything else that you wanted to highlight, or?
You can't talk about this movie without talking about the moody teenager battle axe.
Well, you're right.
I mean, you just have to bring it up.
You're right. That was. I didn't see that going.
No, I didn't either.
Not only is it awkwardness between Thor and his ex-girlfriend Jane, but you've got Mjolnir and Stormbreaker, having their kind of like awkward tension as well, which was just a great little bit.
It's part of Groot, so you can get the adolescent moodiness, I guess.
Fair, yeah, that's pretty great. I didn't expect that, and I enjoyed that bit throughout.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was well executed for sure. But yeah, I think, if you're a fan of the MCU, for sure you're going to want to check this out.
Yeah.
But kind of as far as recommendations go here on Tavern Talk, what we do is a star rating out of 5 stars. So what would your verdict be for Thor: Love and Thunder?
Just being such a big fan of the MCU, I'm going to have to give it 4.
Hey, I was going to give it 4 as well.
Right on.
Like I gave Ragnarok 3.5, and like I said, I think I enjoyed this one a lot more. Obviously, I could have some like recency bias or something, but
Sure.
I definitely want to see it again. Definitely want to see it on the big screen before the theatrical run is out. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I think it's a solid 4-star movie, and I think that's it for this week. So thank you again for joining me. I really appreciate it. And thank you guys for watching. If you haven't already, do all the YouTube stuff. Hit the subscribe button, the notification bell, the like. We try to produce a new review of the biggest release every week, so you hit that notification bell. You know when we upload that. I want to thank you to the Movie Tavern. They always let us see the movies here, shoot the show in the theaters, so thank you to them. But that's it for this week. We'll see you next time. Peace.
Put your shirt on the camera.
You probably made it worse.
Hey, we're here for the Defenders party. Well, Philip, you stopped way too early.
It is a neat mask.
Or offended. He hurt your feelings.
Quicker.
It is a neat mask.
No, more like that first time, or the second time.
It is a neat mask.
Yes.
My little brother went mistaking you for.
Oh, that was it?
Was I supposed to say anything?
No, you're not supposed to say anything. I just didn't know you'd gone yet. Do like, make it, I couldn't hear the...
So many jokes.
Hey!
We're here for the Defenders party.
Yeah, we are? Is that...
We know. We're just trying to get into character for when the birthday boy gets here.
At least you're more convincing than this fool.
Dude, that was great. Your dad just has to be quiet for that.
Extremely unimpressed.
And make it
Heard that line?
We can make it easier. Let's... Hey! I looked at the camera. Idiot. Rookie mistake!
Yeah, well, Christian Van Feist had to.
That's okay.
What'd you say?
Star-Lord. You and me doing
That would be hilarious. Just wipe you in the shorts. What are you doing, you pervert? I think Gamora's kind of hot.
What, you're gonna hit a child MC hitter?
That's why I didn't...
Shorty.
Got our bloopers.
Dinner.